The kids are gone, the house is too big, you're drowning in stuff. Maybe it's time to downsize. But how do you downsize? Don't worry, I've got it all figured out and I'll show you how. Let's get started. The first thing you need to do is decide how you want this downsized life to look. Where do you want to be? When do you want to be there? Do you want to go to the beach, the mountains, the lake, all three? What kind of cost of living are you looking for? What kind of health care are you looking for? Is this going to be your forever home? Whatever you want it to look like, that's up to you. Once we know where we're going, I'll create a roadmap to get us there. Now that you know what you want to do, probably a good idea to consult your financial advisor. You want to make sure that downsizing doesn't interfere with that big financial retirement plan you've been working for so long. And it's a good time to review your legal documents like your will, trust, and any other legal documents you may have. I would love to know what's important to you about downsizing. Is it the location? Is it the amenities that you're going to have? What is it? Share it there in the comments. You'd be surprised what other people say too. Let's create a timeline for this adventure. I like to tell my clients to give themselves at least 6 months, if not more. When do you want to be in that new home location? Or when do you want to hit the road? Whatever it is. Now that you've made this decision, let's get you some help. It's time to hire a professional realtor. And if you're new here, I'm Teresa Fudge, local realtor here in Suwanee, Georgia. I specialize in helping clients downsize and relocate. I actually created a free guide that you can use as your roadmap to downsizing success. All you have to do is click that link in the description of the video and you can download it immediately. Now that you've created a plan and a timeline, we've got to deal with your current home and all of your stuff. My good friend Matt Paxton of Hoarders wrote a great book, and the title says it all. Keep the memories, lose the stuff. So let's talk about the stuff first. So we're going to evaluate everything in your home and put it into one of four categories. Stuff you're going to keep, what you're going to sell, what you're going to donate or give away, and what you're going to trash or discard. In his book, Matt talks about the 1 month rule. It goes like this. If you know you're going to use it in a month, then you keep it. That's a month. Not 6 months, not 12 months or 2 years. It's a month. Because here's the deal. If you don't use it in a month, the odds of you ever using it are very low. You know I'm right. So if you're really struggling with this concept, you can add one more category, and that's maybe. So this gives you a chance to put things over there and start feeling the flow of how it feels to be without those things. I do find that most people at the end of the process end up getting rid of all the maybe stuff, at least most of it. Be careful about getting a storage unit. Out of sight, out of mind. I was once the owner of the world's most expensive artificial Christmas tree because it landed in a storage unit for 3 years. And you know what happened in 3 years? I gave it away along with everything else in that storage unit. So if you do get a storage unit, get the absolute smallest one you can and set a time limit. Be ridiculously strict on that time limit. If you're moving across the state or across town or across country, a storage unit would be a really bad idea. Don't be like me. Give yourself some grace. If you've got decades worth of stuff, there are a lot of feelings and memories attached to it. It's okay to feel nostalgic, maybe even to feel guilty about getting rid of it, but give yourself some grace and give yourself the ability to let it go. You're going to find items from your children, from your grandparents, maybe a spouse that's no longer with you, maybe pet items. We all have lots of stuff. You're not alone. Make sure you have conversations, though, with your friends and family. Find out if someone wants something that you have. Find out what they don't want. I was really surprised to find out that the younger people, they don't want our china and our crystal. They don't want our collectibles. And I'm really glad that I'm not going to be here when it comes time for my family to decide what to do with my Boston Marathon jackets and my Boston Marathon medals. One thing I did for myself, I took boxes of shirts from races that I had run, and I sent them to a company where they made a quilt. It's beautiful. Serves the purpose of keeping my memories, but I don't have those boxes full of stuff. And my husband actually has it hanging on the wall of our TV room. It's a great reminder. So throughout this process, pull out that smartphone camera. Take loads of pictures of stuff. It's so easy to then create albums and slideshows and share these with your friends and family. And it takes up no room, and it's just so easy, and you can have it forever. And you can back it up in a couple of different locations if you're worried about losing it. I actually took all the photos out of the frames of my home and digitalized them all. So I've got copies on my phone, my husband's got copies. I've shared as many as I can on social media. So they're out there everywhere. So to begin this process, I like to start in a non-essential area, like the attic or the garage or the basement. And because we've got our categories, we can color code it. I always give my seller clients a set of 4 different colored sticky notes and a marker or 2. And you can just go through a room putting the right color sticky on the items. That way you can easily visualize what you're keeping and what's going where. And as you go room to room, it feels less overwhelming because all you have to do is pick a room and start. And just know it's going to feel like it gets worse before it gets better. Like that time that you were going to clean out your closet, and the next thing you know, you look in the closet, there's nothing there, but the stuff is all over the room, on the floor, the bed, the dresser. You know what I'm talking about. You've done it. The good news is there's no wrong way to do this, but the more you can follow a system, the less stress you're going to have. So now that you've sorted everything, it's time to start selling and giving it away and throwing it in the trash. So let's talk about selling things. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can do this. You can do it in any number of online forums like Facebook Marketplace, eBay, ThreadUp. There's numerous different platforms that you can post items to sell. And to do this, though, you're going to want to be able to accept money electronically. So there's different sources like PayPal, Venmo, Zelle, Cash App, and they're all pretty safe and protected. Just know that there are professional scammers out there just waiting for another victim. Be careful. If it sounds weird, it is, and avoid it. And also, set your expectations low. The object here is not to get rich. It's to get rid of your stuff. And remember that things are only worth what someone is willing to pay you for it. And if you're selling online for something that's going to be shipped, make sure you include those shipping costs. And if it's a large item that someone is going to come pick up, make sure you tell them to bring their own help to load something and that they have to have their own vehicle. Make it clear. Don't get caught up in having to help someone load a dresser into a Honda Accord. Believe me, I've seen this tried. And always consider your safety. Don't get caught alone with a perfect stranger. So now it's time to donate and give away items. Research some local charities to donate to. Find some different causes that you feel strongly about. There's all kinds of thrift stores and nonprofit organizations that love donated things. Sometimes you can just call them and they'll schedule to actually come to you and pick up the items. If at all possible, never let someone come to your home that you don't know. You can always leave items on your porch to be picked up. You can meet people in public places. Just always keep your safety #1 priority. When I tell you I have seen some strange things, I'm not kidding. And never combine items that you're keeping with items that you're donating or giving away. So there was one time I was donating a bunch of items and those items were in a room. So the nearby hallway, the cleaning crew was still working and they had walked away from the expensive commercial vacuum cleaner that was still plugged in. Within a blink of an eye, the person who was picking up the donated items also took the vacuum cleaner. I'm not kidding, y'all. It was no accident. So when it comes to the things that you're recycling or throwing away, make sure you know what can go into your local trash bin. A lot of the local electronics stores will actually let you drop off used electronics for recycling as well. A really cool thing you can do too is to rent one of those haul-away dumpsters. You can invite a couple of your neighbors to go in with you. So I think they're about $300. They give you 2 to 3 days to have the dumpster. So the company drops it off into your driveway. Then you spend a couple of days filling it up with the things you want to get rid of. Then they come and pick it up and it's done. So now that we've talked about and dealt with all of your stuff, let's talk about your house. The first step would be to make some necessary repairs. I'm not talking about remodeling it if it's not necessary, just the things that might deter a buyer from making an offer on the house. And things like The curb appeal. Make sure that the landscaping is all fresh. Maybe you need to paint your front door, replace the door hardware. Just know that that curb appeal is the first impression a buyer has of your house. So you want it to be good, or they're probably never coming in. And as far as the small repairs around the house, are there dripping faucets, running toilets, a light fixture that needs to be replaced? You get it. I always tell sellers as well, paint goes a long way. If you haven't had the interior painted in quite some time, it's probably time and it's probably a good idea. Maybe you've painted an accent wall or a whole room a bold color. That would be a good idea to paint that a neutral color to match the rest. And if the flooring is worn out, I would consider replacing it too. These are some things that you can give credits to a buyer as well if you don't want to actually have to do the work. You just want the house to look as fresh as possible. The next step would be to deep clean it. And I mean deep clean it. Clean the blinds, the vent covers, the baseboards, the light fixtures. If you've got carpets, I highly recommend you have the carpet steam cleaned. And once you think you've got it really clean, hire a professional cleaning company to come in and do it all again. Make sure you get rid of any smells. And you don't want to replace a smell with some type of air freshener. What you really want to do is eliminate smell at all. You just want clean. And another great idea is to replace all the light bulbs. A lot of them are yellow. You may have different colored light bulbs and different light fixtures. I recommend you replace every light bulb with a white light bulb. You'll be amazed at the way it makes your house look. And now that you've got it all clean, then it's time to stage it. The Realtor probably has some great resources for that, or maybe they are a stager themselves. But you just want to arrange the remaining furniture and decor items in a way that really accent the features of the house and show it in its best light. Now that your home is for sale, you better plan that move. And if you hired me to sell your house, you better plan that move quickly because my houses don't sit on the market long. If you haven't already, call the movers. I would get at least 2 to 3 quotes on moving your items. And when you're packing, pack those essential items really strategically. You want those to be the easiest to get to. Making sure you label those boxes clearly. You want to arrange for the utilities where you're going and to cut off the utilities of the house that you're selling. I always recommend that my sellers leave them on a couple of days after closing just to give that buyer a chance to make sure they're on in their name. And once you get to your home, set up those essential rooms first and then start unpacking. If you haven't already, familiarize yourself with your new neighborhood. Get to know your grocery store, the pharmacy, the bank that you use, the post office, and then get to know your neighbors. I'll bet they're very excited to meet you. Don't forget about my detailed downsizing guide. It goes through all of these steps and much more. It's free. It's a roadmap. All you have to do is click on the link in the description and you'll get it downloaded. If I can help you with anything, any questions, any advice, whatever it is, just give me a call or shoot me a text. I'm Teresa Fudge, local realtor right here in Suwanee, Georgia. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next one.